Okay, so I like to consider this channel an all sports channel. I try to talk about all sports. I talk about baseball, football, basketball, whatever that may be. Like I really want to stream the Yankees Guardians game tonight. I don't know if I will do the whole game. I don't know if I'll just do the end. But um, what I will say is overwhelmingly the my most popular videos are college basketball. And people have called me a college basketball channel, and I really don't like that. Um, because like I don't want to be just a college basketball. I want to talk about other stuff, but I feel like these videos do get the most view. They do get the most views. My bracketology series is by far the most popular series on the channel. So I feel like I owe it to everyone to talk about the preseason poll at least a little bit. Um, so yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about today. I do love watching college basketball. College basketball and college football are my two favorite sports to watch. But let's talk about the rankings. Now, I feel like this needs to be said. Preseason rankings do not mean a damn thing. Like these rankings don't mean anything at all. North Carolina, who's ranked number one, they could go winless the entire year. I mean, like these rankings really don't mean anything. But we're gonna still talk about them and give a little preview for the season. All right. So North Carolina tops the polls. And now, depending on who you ask, they could be the best team. They could not be. But, I mean, they're a great team. They made the national title. They started off really slow last year, made the national title. They had a terrific starting five of Baycott, Love, Armando Baycott, Caleb Love. I'm trying to remember R.J. Davis, and other people I'm forgetting. But they had a terrific starting five. They really didn't have any bench at all. But they made the national title, and I think all five of those starters returned. So yeah, Caleb. Oh, Brady Manick. Yeah, Brady Manick and Leaky Black. That starting five's really, 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 really good. But they return everyone. They return everyone from a team that made the national title, so they're ranked number one. I'm not going to argue with this. I'll tell you who my number one team is, but North Carolina is going to be a great team. Notable games that they have, they play. Oh, you know who they play. Yeah, you know who they play. You know. Believe me, you know. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, Gonzaga is second. Now here's the thing. I'm starting to get tired of Gonzaga. I really am. I'm really starting to get tired of Gonzaga. Because it's the same song and dance every year. Oh my god, they're going to have a really good team. They're going to play a bunch of hard teams out of conference. They're going to start the year super hot. They're going to be a number 1 or 2 seed. Now what's going to happen in the tournament? They're going to fold. They're going to fold. I don't even think it's worth talking about Gonzaga. Now, I would like to see them win a national title. Small school from Spokane, Washington that's always had a great basketball team. I'd like to see them win a national title. And they have the talent to do so this year. Drew Timme, Bolton, Strother, Watson. They got some dogs on their team. Drew Timme is back for, his 10th year at Gonzaga? Dude's been there for forever. But yeah, they're going to have a really good team this year. But will they win the national title? I don't know. They always seem to crumble in March. Around the Sweet 16 or Elite 8, they usually lose. It's an every year thing. So I really hope Gonzaga is going to do well this year, but I don't know. Now, here, right now, right here, is the team that I think is winning the national title. My preseason pick to win the national title. I'll make a preseason bracketology probably around a few days. When does the season start? The 7th? Around the 7th or 8th. I'll make a preseason bracketology. But I'll tell you right now, I'm going to have Houston winning it all. I think Houston is going to have the best team. Because they made it to the Elite 8 and Final Four the last 2 years. And they return pretty much everyone from that team. Marcus Sasser, dog, averaged 17 points a game. He's going to be back. And the whole supporting cast is going to be back. This is another team just like Gonzaga that doesn't get over the hump. But I believe in Houston this year. I'm a believer in Houston. Especially because the Final Four is in Houston this year. They can make the Final Four. I think they'll win it. I think this is Houston's year. I think going into this year, I think Houston's the best team. They had one number one vote. UNC had 40. Oh, you can see it there. North Carolina had 47. Gonzaga had 12. Kentucky had 2. Houston had 1. I think Houston's the best team. I think they're the best team. We'll see. It's because they got depth too. I really think Houston's the best team. Kentucky, they return possibly the best player of the country, Oscar Tshiebwe. He's an animal. And they always have a horde of really good players. So good for Kentucky. Hold on, let me look up something. Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to look up something. Anyway, Baylor and Kansas are tied for 5th. Now, Kansas, of course, won the national title, but they're losing some people from that team. But they're still gonna be great. And Baylor was the number 1 seed last year, kind of fell in the playoffs, but they're also gonna be really good this year. Oh, not college football. Damn it. ESPN releases a really good article every year, and it shows you like who's returning for each team and okay. So for North Carolina, okay, we already talked about this. For Houston, I mean they return Marcus Sasser, Tremont Mark, Jamal Sheed or Shed. I don't know how you say. They have a top 10 recruit, Jarris Walker. I think Houston's the best team. Kentucky, they returned Oscar Tshiebwe, who had averaged 17 points a game and 20-something rebounds. He was amazing. They bring in Jacob Toppin is going to have a good day. They bring in Antonio Reeves, who averaged 20 points a game at Illinois State. He's going to be really good. Him and Tshiebwe are going to lead the offense. I think Kentucky, if we're going, I'm going to say for each team, I'm going to say overrated, underrated, properly rated. North Carolina, I would say properly rated. They're a top 1 or 2 team. I think they're second behind Houston. Gonzaga, overrated. I think they're a little overrated. Houston, I'm gonna say properly rated, maybe a little under, because I think they should be number 1. Kentucky, I'm gonna say a little bit over. I don't think they're gonna be a top 4 team this year. I don't think they're gonna be a 1 seed, but they're still gonna be really good. Baylor, hold on, I'm trying to go through these. Baylor, they got number 6 rated recruit Keontae George. Adam Flagler and LJ Cryer are back. Both averaged 14 points a game last year. They bring in Jalen Bridges from West Virginia as a transfer, and Flo Thamba, who kind of played a bench role for Baylor. He's going to be a starter. I think he's going to have a really big year. I think if you're looking between so they're both 5th, and the reason is because they tied in the rating. They have a rating system from all the AP poll voters. They have a point system. They tied in the point system. If I had to pick a team, if I had to pick who's better, I think, who does Kansas have? Because I'm not 100% sure on who they're returning or getting rid of. DeJuan Harris, they're getting in Grady, number 14 rated recruit, Grady Dick. Okay, Jalen Wilson, dog, he's amazing. Ernest Uday, number 23 rated recruit. Honestly, if I had to pick who's better, I think Baylor's better. I would pick Baylor over Kansas to win the Big 12. I think they're a little bit better. Not by a lot though. Duke, who does Duke have? Who do our Dookie Blue Devils have? This is gonna be their first year in ever without Mike Krzyzewski. Jeremy Roach, Derek Whitehead, who is number 2 in the ESPN Top 100. He's a 5-star. He's amazing. Jacob Grandison, who averaged 9 points a game in Illinois. Kyle Flipkowski, number 7 rated in the ESPN Top 100. And Derek Lively, who's number 1 rated recruit. Here's the thing, though. With the transfer portal and more players, I feel like staying in college longer because of NIL. Like if NIL wasn't a thing, Trace Jackson Davis would be in the NBA. I feel like it's going to be harder for these freshman-led teams to do well. So if I were to rate Duke, 3 freshmen in the starting lineup, I'm going to say overrated. I don't think Duke's going to be that great. UCLA, hold on. UCLA, they bring back Tiger Campbell and Jamie Jaquez, who are 2 catalysts for that team. They're both great players. They're bringing in Amari Bailey out of Sierra Canyon, number 5 rated player. He is amazing, Amari Bailey. He's a stud. And they bring in Adem Bona from the ESPN Top 100. He is number 16. This team's going to be good, man. This team's going to be really good. They got that mix of young talent, but experience. That's what I think you need. I'm going to say a little underrated for UCLA. I think I would put UCLA where, like, Baylor and Kentucky are. They're that good. Creighton. This is a team a lot of people think are going to have a really good year. Ryan Nemhard averaged 11 points last year. They're bringing in Baylor. I don't know how to say his name. Baylor Schreineman. He averaged 16 points a game at South Dakota State. He was their star last year when they made the tournament. They still have Ryan Kalkenbrenner and Arthur Kal. And yeah, I don't know. Some of these names are weird. They're going to be a really good team. I think 9 might be a little high, but I still think they're going to be good. Arkansas. Now, they're kind of in the same boat that Duke is in. Of their top, okay, so Arkansas had a great team last year. They made the Elite Eight, almost made the Final Four, almost beat Duke, but couldn't get it done. Not a single player in their projected starting 5 that ESPN has. Not a single player in their projected starting 5 was there last year. Anthony Black, 15th rated recruit. Nick Smith, number 3 rated recruit. I think he's the bald guy. There was one guy that played in the McDonald's All-American game or whatever. He had like no hair at all. I think he had like alopecia or something. That's when you basically have no hair. But he was balling out. He looked great. I think that's Nick Smith. Ricky Council the 4th averaged 12 points a game at Wichita State. Maybe Jordan Walsh. I can't remember his name, but Arkansas has one guy. It's either Nick Smith or Jordan Walsh. I can't remember which one it is. But it had like no hair or whatever, and he was going insane. But they're kind of in the Duke boat. I think they're going to be good. But I think their potential's kind of capped with how young their team's going to be. We'll see. A lot of these transfer young teams are either boom or bust. I think that's what Arkansas could be. Tennessee, they have rated at 11. Zakai Ziegler and Santiago Vescovi are going to return. They were both really, really good last year. They're going to be their backcourt. They bring in Julian Phillips, 13th rated recruit for ESPN. And then they have some guys that were on the bench last year for the big men coming back. They're going to be really good. That backcourt's going to be good. I think 11's around properly rated for them. Texas, they have at 12. They bring back Marcus Carr. They have Tyrese Hunter, transfer from Iowa State, who averaged 11 points a game last year. Dylan Mitchell, 4th rated recruit out of ESPN. He is a stud. He'll be really good. Christian Bishop and Timmy Allen return. I think they're going to be good, but I think 12 might be a little high. 12 might be a little high for Texas. Okay, now I'm going to be talking about this for a little bit. Indiana, it's where I go to school. It's where I'm at right now. I'm filming this from my dorm room at Indiana University. So, okay, what's their lineup going to look like? Well, it's going to be pretty much the whole starting 5 from last year with one change. Last year, the starting 5 was Xavier Johnson, Parker Stewart, Miller Kopp, Race Thompson, Trace Jackson Davis. This year, no Parker Stewart. I think he graduated. Yeah, Parker Stewart graduated. No Parker Stewart. They just have Jalen Hood-Schifino coming in from Montverde Academy. Number 24 rated recruit. Honestly, he could be higher than that. Xavier Johnson last year averaged 12 points. Miller Kopp, 6 points. Miller Kopp's very off and on. They could put Trey Galloway in there too. Race Thompson, 11 points. Trace Jackson Davis averaged 18 points a game last year. He might average 20 this year. I think he's the best player in college basketball. It's either him, Oscar Tshiebwe, or Armando Bacot. It's one of those 3 that are the best player in college basketball. I think you could say any one of those 3, and I would consider if you want to say Tshiebwe's the best, I would say that's definitely possible. If you want to say Bacot's the best, Okay, he might be the best too. If you say any of those, I think if you say any of those three, you're not going to get anyone that's like, oh, he's terrible. He's not even close to the best. If you say any of those three, I think a lot of people be like, yeah, he can be the best player. The one guy that you better not say is Hunter Dickinson. That guy sucks. All he has is height. He is overrated. He is not good. Hunter Dickinson is the most overrated player in college basketball. That guy can barely even make a layup. It's just that he's so tall he can just put it in. It's the same thing with Zach Edey. Hunter Dickinson, if you double team him, he's garbage. That's all you got to do with Hunter Dickinson to beat him. Now, what's really going to be good about IU, though, what's really going to be good, and what's really what I think it's something that they have. Like, okay, you look at their starting five. Like, is it better than Duke? Is it better than UCLA? Like, look at the teams ahead of Indiana. You ask yourself, is their starting lineup better than them? Are they better than Creighton? Maybe. They're better than UCLA, Duke, maybe. Better than Tennessee. But, like, there are very few teams ahead of them where, like, oh, yeah, their starting lineup's better than them. Their starting lineup's going to be great. What is really going to be an asset to IU this year, though, is the bench and the depth that they have. They have some talent off the bench. Tamar Bates, who I think was either a freshman or something last year, he's back. Trey Galloway, who got a lot of time in the starting lineup. And a lot of people thought he would make the starting lineup, but they gave it to Hood Schifino instead. Trey Galloway is going to be coming off the bench. Malik Reinu, I'm gonna call Jalen Hood Schifino. I'm gonna call him JHS. He was JHS's teammate in high school. He's a dog. I know I'm forgetting someone else too. CJ Gunn, dog, Indiana kid. He follows my Indiana Express page. CJ Gunn's a dog. I mean, they have a lot of players off that bench that can come in and play. I know I'm forgetting someone. I don't know, but I'm telling you now, IU's going to be dangerous. And notice they're the first Big Ten team that is ranked. We're the highest rated Big Ten team. It's hard to say. I think I would put them in the top 10. I think IU's a top 10 team. That might be biased. That might be extremely biased. I'm going to say a little underrated. A lot of people are thinking overrated. Some people are saying popular. A lot of the IU people I talk to, a lot of other people that run IU pages, they're like, oh, yeah, properly rated. I'm saying a little under. I think they're going to have I feel like there's only going to be two outcomes to this season. Either they're going to do really well and be in the top 10 and be a 1, 2, or 3 seed, or they're going to completely not perform to expectations and be like a 10 seed. I feel like there's no in between. I feel like they're either going to do really, 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 really well and exceed expectations, or disappoint and like barely make the tournament. We'll see though. I'm banking on them having a good year. I really hope they have a good year. And they have the big game in the Big Ten ACC Challenge against North Carolina. I did purchase season tickets for basketball. Now, since there's only so many seats in the stadium, I think sometimes they like cancel season tickets or whatever, and they'll give you like a refund if too many people buy tickets. And there's a good possibility that could happen for the North Carolina game. If my tickets get canceled for the North Carolina game, come hell or high water, I will find a way to go to that game. Hopefully that doesn't happen though. But that's going to be the biggest game in IU basketball in the last since they beat Kentucky when they were ranked number 1. That's going to be the biggest home game for IU. That's enough about IU. Arizona. Now they were the number 1. They were number 1 seed last year. They're going to lose a lot of talent from that team. Kerr Krissa. I'm going to say Krista. Kerr Krissa. Pete Larson. Courtney Ramey, transfer from Texas. I don't know. They were just so good last year with Benedict Mathurin, and they had another guy. I can't remember his name, but he's gone too, I think. I don't think Arizona's going to be good. I mean, I'm surprised they're even ranked. I should probably scroll down. We didn't talk about TCU, Auburn, and Villanova. IU plays. Indiana actually plays Arizona in Las Vegas. I think Indiana will win that game. IU also plays Kansas on the road. I think they'll lose that game. They play UNC at home. As for who I think is going to win that game, I think UNC is going to win that game. I know. I think UNC will beat IU. I think UNC is just a better team. And I think they'll win. Anyway, TCU. TCU, of course, played Arizona in the NCAA tournament and almost beat them. The game went to overtime. But TCU returns that whole team. Their whole starting five's back. Mike Miles, Damon Baugh, Chuck O'Bannon, Emmanuel Miller, Eddie Lampkin. That whole starting five that had a really good year, made the tournament, upset some good teams. I think they beat Baylor. I think they beat some good Big 12 teams. They returned that whole team. I'm going to say underrated for TCU. They're a really good team. I would put them in the top 10. I think they're for sure better than Texas, Arkansas, and Duke. And Creighton. I would put TCU in the top 10. They are good. Underrated TCU. Watch out for them. Auburn. I mean, they're losing. What's his name? Jabari Smith. I'm trying to find. They got all these teams are like out of order. Still got Wendell Green. Still got KD Johnson. I think they're a pretty good team. They got Johnny Brome, averaged 17 points a game at Morehead State. Good transfer coming in, and they got a top 30 recruit in Johan Trayor. I'm gonna say properly rated for Auburn. Villanova. They got Brandon Slater, Caleb Daniels, Mark Armstrong, and Cameron Whitmore, two top recruits, top 100 recruits. I would say properly rated for Villanova. Virginia, they're ranked. Kihei Clark is back. I feel like he's been there forever. I think they returned pretty much their entire team, but they weren't very good last year. They missed the tournament, I know. They did beat Duke, but in that one game, but they missed the tournament. Kihei Clark, Reese Beckman. I don't know. I know they returned their entire team, but they weren't very good last year. I'm going to say I'm a little overrated for Virginia. I don't think they'll be that great. San Diego State. Let's see. Lamont Butler comes back. Matt Bradley comes back. He had averaged 17 points a game. They're bringing in Darian Trammell, who averaged 17.3 points a game at Seattle. He's good. Pretty good team, San Diego State. I'm gonna say properly rated. They're gonna have a good team. Alabama is at 20. Who do they have? Let's see. Mark Sears, transfer from Ohio. He averaged damn near 20 points a game. That's good. Jaden Bradley, top 20 recruit. Dominic Welch averaged 12.3 points a game at St. Bonaventure. Brandon Miller, who is the number 9 rated recruit in the ESPN. This is another team of young players and transfers. Another kind of boomer bust team. I'm not too high on Alabama. I'm going to say a little overrated for them. Rounding out the top 25, Oregon is at 21. Will Richardson averaged 14 points a year last year. Dog. Will Richardson is a stud. I think he'll have a really good year this year. Quincy Greer, I don't know. His name's Quincy. He can't be that bad. Keyshawn whatever the hell, averaged 11 points a game at Colorado. Kelly War, 16th rated recruit in ESPN. He's a stud. I say properly rated, maybe a little bit underrated. Will Richardson is that guy. He is that guy. Will Richardson is. I promise you. Maybe a little underrated for Oregon. Maybe I would probably switch them in Virginia. Michigan. What do we think about Michigan? I mean, I think they'll be pretty good, but I think there are better Big Ten teams. I hate to say it. I mean, they got Hunter Dickinson. Here's the thing, though. Hunter Dickinson is. I'm gonna sound like a total hater here, but he's not skilled. He's just not. He's just bigger than everyone. If you double team him, he's useless. Now, you can't double team him every play because you risk leaving a shooter wide open. But if you double him in the post, he really can't do anything. This might be just ignorant of me, but I don't think he's that good of a player. Overrated for Michigan. I don't think they'll be that great. I really don't think they'll be that great. I mean, they'll be a pretty good team, but I don't think they're going to be blowing people away. I just don't see it happening. Illinois. This is the team I think for Indiana. I think this would be the team I think I'd be most scared of. Is Illinois. I mean, they got what's his name? They return a lot of players. They got Sky Clark, ESPN top 100 recruit. He's really good. Terrence Shannon, transfer from Texas Tech. He's really good. They got Matthew Mayer from Baylor. Matthew Mayer was a really, I think, underrated player in Baylor's, I think, national title campaign and their campaign last year. He averaged like 10 points a game. He was really there when they needed him. I think he'll take a step up. He's a really good player. I think Illinois will enjoy having him. Coleman Hawkins, another underrated player. He was a dog at Illinois. I'm going to say underrated for Illinois. I think 23 is honestly disrespectful. I would have them up. I don't think they're as good as IU, but I think they're close. I would have them in like the 15 to 10 range. I really think Illinois is good. They're underrated. Dayton. They're ranked. Let's see who they got. I know they have some people returning. They did beat Kansas last year in the regular season. It was in one of those like Christmas time or Thanksgiving time tournaments. They beat Kansas, and Kansas won the national title. So Malachi Smith, Kobe Evans, R.J. Bankley. They pretty much returned their whole team from a team that was pretty good, almost made the tournament. I'm expecting a big step up from Dayton. I'm not sure if I'd have them ranked. Would I have them ranked? I don't know. I'm going to say properly rated. I mean, it's like I'm trying to find a reason to like put them down, but like I can't really find it. Solid team. I think Dayton's really good. Who else we got? Last one, Texas Tech. They always in recent memory they've had some really good teams. So let's see who they have here. I know they have a really good transfer. What's his name? I remember watching this guy. Fardwaz. His last name is spelled Aimaq. I have no idea how to pronounce that. But I remember watching not Utah State. I was watching BYU play Utah Valley. BYU is ranked in like the top 10. And they were playing Utah Valley. And this guy, Fardwaz, whatever his name is, for Utah Valley, literally carried that team to a win. I was really impressed by the play of that guy. I'm like, a big school's going to pick him up as a transfer. He averaged 19 points a game. And Texas Tech picked him up. I think they're going to be happy that they did that. Let's see. They got Devion Harmon, transfer from Oregon. He's really good. Kevin O'Banner, who was at Oral Roberts when they went really well. He was there last year. He's a really good player. Elijah Fisher, 5-star, coming in. Good team, Texas Tech. I'm going to say underrated. They're going to be good again this year. I think 25 might be a little disrespectful. Who else received votes? I'm going to pull my camera up so you can see it. Who else received votes? Here's one team that how they're not ranked is beyond me. St. Louis. How are they not ranked? They're my sleeper for this year. St. Louis is going to have a really good year. They returned pretty much their whole team. They were really, really close to making the tournament last year. They only got 36 votes. Or 36 points in the voting system. St. Louis should be ranked for me. Texas A&M, they're going to be really good. Almost won the SEC tournament. Like, they had a very average run-of-the-mill year. And then they went out. Who did they beat? I think they beat Florida, Arkansas, and I think they beat Auburn too. They rattled off some really good wins, and they returned a lot. I think almost all of that team. So A&M will be good. Expect to see them in the tournament. UConn will be pretty good. Miami's another team I thought could be ranked. They got what's his name? They got Nigel Pack from Kansas State. I think they paid him like $1 million to come there. We had a guy at one of our media classes. He literally came in and talked about NIL for like an hour. He's like, "You got any questions about NIL?" I asked him a few. But literally he was like, Nigel Pack. That's like all he was. He was like the main example he was using for NIL was Miami paid Nigel Pack. This is my friend. Nigel Pack. I'm not sure if he's really that good, but he's still gonna be good. I know Miami still has some players from that team that made the Elite Eight. I saw them play. Here's the thing about Miami. I saw them play against Kansas. I went to that Elite Eight game. And they were running Kansas up and down the court, it felt like, but they were only up by like 6. They're a very undisciplined team. I feel like if Miami could come together a little bit and be a more like they whooped the shit out of Auburn. Miami has the potential to make the Elite Eight again and even the Final Four. But they also have the potential to get upset. Miami's a very volatile team. I'm interested to see how they play. I think they're going to be good. I would have them ranked. Miami's good. Purdue, not going to be good. I'm sorry. No, Jay Nivey and Trayvon Williams ran that show last year. And they are both gone. Oh, Zach Edey's going to carry the team. Zach Edey fouls out every game. Zach Edey, I saw. They said if Zach Edey played 20 they had a stat, it was like points per 40 minutes. They said if Zach Edey played 40 minutes a game, he'd be averaging 30 points a game. But they can't play him that much because he gets into foul trouble every game and he gets exhausted too easily. Like, if that's the guy that's going to be carrying your team, Purdue's not going to be good. I'm sorry. That's not even me being biased. It's just they're not going to be that good of a team. Michigan State, I don't know how good they're going to be. Florida State, Xavier, Wyoming. Wyoming could be good again this year. Wyoming made the tournament last year. They returned a lot of players from that team. Wyoming could be good. Ohio State and Iowa should be all right. USC, Florida. Who else goes? Toledo got a vote. Toledo almost made the tournament last year. Kind of got snubbed. Notre Dame got a vote. Memphis got a vote. And UAB got a vote. UAB. Interesting. Oh my God, I didn't even realize this video was so long. But yeah, that's my reaction to the college basketball. I'm going to have a bracketology video up. First day of the season is November 7th. Indiana plays Morehead State. I'll be there. Expect a bracketology probably a few days before that. Anyway, I'm going to see y'all later. But this is going to be a fun basketball season, especially since IU's going to be good. I'm going to be going to all the games. If they let me, at least. Please don't cancel my tickets for the UNC game. Please don't.